And action. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today we're down here in Walt Disney World at the boardwalk, and we're working on the only brewery on Disney property, and that brewery is Big River. So let's take a look at what we're doing today. So today we're actually doing a repair. They had some issues with their steam jacket, and this system is very old, and this is very typical for an older system. And whenever you have an old steam system, you want to kind of dial down the pressure as it gets older, because the welds over time, they flex and they'll tend to break. And that's pretty much what happened to this one. So let's take a look at it. This is right where I cut in to the kettle. There's their kettle, and it's a steam fired kettle. And over here is their mash tun. And I've set up a little welding test right here. And we're using two different types of applications. We're going to be using the MIG welder with tri-gas, stainless steel, 308 wire. And then we're also going to be using the TIG welder to TIG up any imperfections. And then we're also going to be using a plate to cover everything. And I've already prefabbed the plate. And this is the plate that's going to be covering everything. It's heavy duty, 11 gauge. I've already beat it into submission so it will fit the jacket perfectly. And right here, behind this bad boy, let me get this off of here. Slide this down. And right here, I've already fabricated the cladding that I'm going to be putting back, and then we'll peel the paper off this once I'm done. And this was the existing cladding, so we saved this. We're just going to move this out of the way, and then let's see if I can pull this off with one hand. Probably not. So you can see right there, and that's where we're at. And over here is where we're going to be doing the repair. They had another welder come in, and he tried to fix it. He did the best he could, but one of the problems with these steam jackets, and let me note to this, one of the problems with steam jackets is when you go to repair them, they have water inside them. Okay, so you actually have to drain the water out, and if you can, put an argon backing gas inside the jacket. So that way when you're welding, if you accidentally burn through, you'll do a dairy sanitary weld instead of doing a contamination weld. So over here you can see I got this little setup right here, and I can put gas right into the steam system. I got this valve off, and it comes right up and goes directly right in to the tank. And that's it. So I'll put you on pause and we'll go through the repair, and let's get to work. Brew on. All right. Okay, so we're back at it. So I took the cladding off, and this is what we're going to be covering up later on. And then right here, you can see where I've marked it, where there's a couple leaks down here, and there's some leaks up here. And then I have my secret solution. The secret solution, okay? And that's so when I put argon in the jacket, I can test it to make sure that the jacket is completely sealed up. And then, once we seal up the jacket, we're going to reinforce it with this plate. And I've already beat this plate in submission. And it's going to sit in there like that and get MIG welded. So here we're going to be doing two different types of applications. We're going to be using the TIG welder. The TIG welder. And this is the TIG welder. Okay? And then we're going to be using the MIG welder. And I've actually set up a test plate. So this is the MIG welder. We're going to be MIG welding stainless steel with stainless steel 308 and tri-gas. So this is very typical on the inside of our tanks, that we use a lot of MIG welding on the inside of the tanks, but on the outside of the tanks we do a lot of TIG welding. And the reason we're going to be TIG welding the inner jacket is because I don't want a bunch of big bulky welds right there, so when I go to put the cover plate on, it will get in the way. So I want to be able to just quickly seam everything up, make sure there's no leaks. Where I put those marks, you can see where the other welder came in to try to repair it. And I have a leak down there, and there's one right there. You can almost see the crack right there. See it? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and repair those, and then I'll do a quick test to make sure there's no leaks. And then once we do it, we'll take a quick video and take a couple pictures, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to the MIG welding. And the MIG welding with this heavy plate is really going to protect it. So this will give the jacket a double barrier. So we'll have an inner wall and an outer wall, and it will be protected with a heavy mass and plate. So it won't be able to flex like it used to before. And this should give it a lot more longevity and give this brew kettle much longer life. So the lower jacket is still working fine. It's the upper jacket that you can see right here where there's this dimple. Right here where there's this dimple. And back in the old days, that's how they would dimple the jackets. They would take a ball peen hammer and beat in a little dimple there, drill a hole there, and that's how they would weld it, and they would weld it to the tanks. Now, I don't advise people buying dimple jackets. I've never been a fan of dimple jackets. It's always better to get a helix coil around your tank. So actually, some heavy duty plate, about 3 inches, welded all the way around the plate in a giant, more or less like a submerging chiller. So it's like a pipe or a snake going all the way around your tank. And then that way the steam goes from the top, swirls all the way around to the bottom, and then comes out the bottom and drains out. That's actually the best and most efficient way to do an upper horizontal jacket. Okie dokie. So when you guys go out and buy them, make sure you talk to the manufacturers, and you don't want to get dimple jackets. I wouldn't even use a dimple jacket on my fermenters, although a lot of manufacturers are using dimple jackets now, and some of them are even welding them with laser welding, cold laser welding. And that's fine and everything, but I'm old school, and I really like the worm gear or the worm helix coil around the tanks. There's just no way to fail when you do it that way, and it'll last much longer. And besides, they'll also it will flex like a spring, so that helix coil around there, it's not completely 100% restricting the tank, and it allows the tank to breathe in and out. Okie dokie, so that's it, and I'm Jay the Welder, and we're going to be fixing this awesome kettle and giving it a lot more longer life. Right now they're only brewing 5 barrels, and we're going to bring it back up to a 10 barrel system. So that's awesome, and let's get to it.